JC here, coming at you from Thailand. I want to talk to you just for a second about something that I get a lot of inquiries about, and that's going to Vietnam. Now, I have to say, when I first started this channel, I was always looking for options of where retirees, rippers, retiree in paradise, could go live long-term and hang out. A lot of people started watching the channel, whether they were rippers or digital nomads or just some travelers, tourists looking for places to go. But for long-term people, I said Thailand's a great place, and it is still my favorite. Then I talked about, well, Cambodia was an option. And at that time it was easy to get a business visa to hang out there. It was real safe. And then things started to change. So I moved Cambodia down the list a little bit, and I moved Vietnam up. And Nat and I started hanging out in Vietnam. And we love Vietnam, great place. It was funny though, because we'd go to Vietnam and hang out for so long that people would say, when you headed back over to Thailand? Thailand was the end-all be-all for some people. And they didn't see that they needed another option. But these days, that's changed a little bit. And this is why I get a lot of inquiries about going to Vietnam. Some people have seen some of the videos, some people have just gone online and said, hey, maybe Vietnam's an option to hang out as a digital nomad, as a ripper long-term, or just to travel around and check it out. So I get questions about visas. How do I get a visa to go? So we won't get into why a long-term stayer in Southeast Asia, a ripper, would need to go to Vietnam as opposed to Thailand, but I'll just say briefly that there's been some changes from immigration regarding verification of income, and now some people can't comply to the retirement extension in Thailand or the marriage, and I'll do a video about all that. But I wanted to talk today about this inquiry I get about going to Vietnam and how to get a visa to do that. So there's two ways to get a visa for Vietnam. One is a difficult way. And as you probably know from watching my channel over all the years, I'm not a fan of giving up my passport, and the difficult way requires you to do so. Not to mention all the hoops and gyrations. Well, I actually had to get an actual hard visa in my passport before I left one time. And I can tell you that's the difficult way. Check this out, and then come back and I'll talk to you about the easy way to get a visa for Vietnam. Hey gang, guess what time it is? It's only 7 o'clock in the morning. So why am I up so early in the morning? Because this isn't normal for JC and Nat, I can tell you that. Well, I got caught out. I have to get a visa into my passport. So we got to blow out of here and do one night in Bangkok. Come along with us. See you soon. Well, we're at the bus stop. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about airport bus. So if you're going to Pattaya from the airport, Suvarnabhumi Airport, Hue An or Cha Am, this is the bus to take. It's Bell Travel Service. Now for us, we're going to go from the airport to Nana BTS station, and then we're going to check into a hotel. I got to drop my stuff off and then head to the Vietnam Embassy and try and get a visa, which I should be able to pick up tomorrow if I get there early enough. So we'll see how all this works out, but I want you to come along with it. The bus will be here any second. We're going to jump on, then I'll be back. See ya. Well, we're on the bus. We had to juggle the motorbike a little bit to try and get our bags and Nat and I to the bus station, and then get our bike back and get a taxi to come drop me back at the bus stop. So we're fitting this in a tight window. They have a 4-day service to get this to you. They do have an expedited 1 day, which I'm going to shoot for and see if that happens. If not, then we'll be leaving, and I'm going to leave them a prepaid envelope, and hopefully that'll get back to us before it's time to leave. So, a little bit of stress involved in this. But anyway, we're on the bus. The next stop will be Bangkok at the airport, and then we'll check into our hotel and then try and get to the embassy as quick as possible. See ya. Time to rest. It's too early for me and Nat. We're not usually up this early. See ya. All right, so we're at the airport. Make sure to bring a coat on that bus and maybe some socks because it did get cold. Nat was all bundled up like an Eskimo. Anyway, we're at the airport. Now we'll go all the way down to the bottom level of the airport where the city rail link is, and then we'll take that from the airport into the city and connect with the BTS or the SkyTrain and take that to Nana Stop, which is only a couple blocks from where our room is going to be. Dump our stuff off and then head off to the Vietnam Embassy. So let's go in here, head to the airport rail link, and head into town. Okay, so I went in at 2 o'clock because we didn't make it before lunch, and here it was about 2:20 before somebody showed up, and they looked at my application, stapled my picture on it, and I'm good to go. It was for a 1-month visa. Next day service is 3,000 baht. I think if I wanted the 4-day service, it would have been 1,700 baht. So I had to pay a little extra to get it, but we're good to go. I show up tomorrow at 4 o'clock, pick up my passport with my visa, and we're out of here. Good to go. So, and this is what they're cracking down on here in Bangkok. They're giving fines to the taxi drivers now for driving on the sidewalk. So be careful as you walk around Bangkok because there's motorbikes going up and down these sidewalks all the time. But anyway, we're good to go. Got the visa. Pick it up tomorrow. See ya. All right. 24 hours later, and guess what? I have a visa. So I'm good to go now. One thing to keep in mind, though, if you're going to go to Vietnam, check and see how many pages you got left in your passport, because be aware that they're going to eat up a whole page with these visas. So you don't want to come up short when you got to come back into Thailand and you got no space left in your passport. So anyway, that's it. We're out of here. So there you go. As you can see, there was a lot to that to get the visa for Vietnam and a lot of expense. Plus I had to give up my passport. So I'm not a fan of any of that. There's a much easier way to do this, and that's to get a pre-approval letter to Vietnam. Now, some citizens of some countries don't have to get a visa to go to Vietnam. They can stay, I think, 30 days without a visa. But I'm not one of those people. I have to get a visa, and so do most people from most countries. If you need to get a visa for Vietnam before you go, you can either go to an embassy and get a visa, or you can get what's called a pre-approval letter. What's a pre-approval letter? All it is a letter that shows you've been pre-approved to come into the country, and then when you get to the airport in Vietnam, you hand them this letter with your passport, and they stamp in a visa into your passport. And then you pay a stamping fee for that. But for a minute, let's talk about this pre-approval letter. It's really easy to do, and I recommend doing it this way. And all you do is put in your pertinent information, travel dates, your passport number, information about yourself personally, put it in online, and within a day or two, you get this pre-approval letter back. You print it out, and you take it with you to Vietnam. Easy. And it's not expensive at all. In fact, the company that I use reached out to me and said, listen, we'll give you a link, and anybody that uses it, we'll even give them a discount on top of the deal that they give already. So here, check this out. I'll show you a little video about how to get this pre-approval letter online, and then I'll be back in a second. So there you go. You can see how easy this was to get the pre-approval letter. Like I say, you just show up at the airport with the letter, your passport, in the international airport, and they give you a visa. Done deal. So when it comes to hanging out in Vietnam, I think there's a lot of reasons why to do that these days, whether you're a digital nomad, a retiree in paradise, or just a tourist. And this company's been so great to offer you a link to be able to get a discount on your visa as well. So use the link, and remember, when it comes to hanging out in Southeast Asia, there's always an option. And for Nat and I, and for a lot of other people, Vietnam now is on that list as well, maybe a little bit higher than it used to be. So just keep in mind, when it comes to either living long-term or traveling or just checking out places, Vietnam's a great option. If you like what we're doing, make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. Until I see you again, JC out. See ya. Hey, JC here. If you like that video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel here. Also, we have another video up here you're going to be really interested in watching as well. And if you're looking for all the details of how to retire in Thailand in one place, plus a group of people to support you, check this out over here. Give it a click.